I feel grateful for having certain tools and practices in my life that have helped me a lot to prepare for motherhood. And some of those tools have been my long-term meditation and yoga practice, and also long-term work with ayahuasca, and how they have worked symbiotically together. And essentially, they've prepared me for the fact that you can't be prepared for this in any way, shape, or form. And ultimately, the biggest lesson beyond all the books that I've read and all the techniques that I've learned is that what I learn every single day is the importance of being flexible in your mind, being flexible in your ideas and your ideology, being flexible in your inner structure, and how that becomes projected onto another, and your idea of the way things should be done, and all of that. And so, because I guess what it shows all the time is that we are so addicted to the idea of controlling things and controlling outcome, and ultimately what we're shown all the time through ayahuasca and through parenting is that we don't really have control over anything, and the more we try to exert control over things, the more that kind of blows up in our face. And so I do feel grateful for those practices, in that it's given me a little bit of forethought into these fields, but at the same time, there's absolutely nothing that you can do to prepare yourself. The first few weeks and even few months of mothering were like a huge slap in the face for me. I just really didn't feel well. I didn't have like the energy levels that I thought I would. And this is, I come from a background of nutrition and herbal medicine. And so I felt like I was well equipped with all the tools that I needed. And so it really kind of surprised me that I wasn't feeling better. And so about 3 weeks after Nahal was born, I had a dream. And in my dream, I realized that I was really starved for support, and not even on a physical level, but more on an emotional level of just feeling like, I was here in the Amazon, and I didn't feel like I had the network that I needed, of even just sisters that I could call or go have tea with, or just to be able to share. And obviously there's no one that's going to solve your problems for you, but just to be able to share space with someone else who's going to just be like, it's okay, Sometimes you just need to hear that. And so I had this dream that I had created a group, and the group was called Conscious Mamas, Buddha Babies. And so the next morning I woke up and I created this Facebook group, and it's really taken off, and it's become extremely activated and interactive, and it's wonderful. And it's really been a source of great support for myself, and I've gotten a lot of really wonderful feedback from other members in the group. And I'm really honest with people, and I'm like, it was kind of a selfish motivation. I really created it for myself, so I would feel like I had a little bit of a support network. But ultimately what's happened is it's really created this kind of collective support network for mothers. And so it's really showed me the importance of support and community. And it's really started me into this whole path around holistic mothering. And so my next project that I'm launching in a few weeks is called the Sacred Motherhood Blueprint.com. And it's an online initiation, or an online resource into holistic mothering. And it's a compendium of different courses. There's 5 courses, starting with conscious conception, which I feel is where it all begins. It's the seeding, So what we're talking about with conscious conception is a very different practice than accidental pregnancies, or having just things happen. It's more about creating a circumstance and creating a window where a soul is being invited in by 2 people who are willing to walk this path together. And it all starts there with conscious conception, but then it doesn't stop, it just keeps going. And so there's conscious conception, there's sacred pregnancy, there's fearless birth, nourishing postpartum, and intuitive baby rearing. And there's 5 courses are split up into 5 different modules, and it's working with an elemental format. And so there's earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And so earth is working with diet and nutrition, and water is working with herbs and natural remedies, air is working with relationship, and it's relationship in a lot of different contexts, it's relationship number one to self, because relationship to self is going to change so much on the journey to motherhood. It's a very shocking experience when you go from you being the center of your world to you not being the center of your world anymore, and someone else being the center of your world. And so everything that comes along with that in terms of not really having the time to do what you usually do, whether that is leisure or whether that is spiritual practices or even career, everything gets totally shifted up. And so really examining through the different phases of motherhood, starting with conception and going into the whole process of pregnancy, birthing, and then postpartum into baby rearing, what does it look like? Relationship to self, relationship to partner, relationship to family, relationship to community, and relationship to career, because these are really important and under examined topics that every single woman that I speak with, including myself, needs to come to terms with, and how to create some kind of right relationship and balance on those different levels. And people really try to do the best they can, including myself. And so the hope is just to be able to provide a holistic and user-friendly tool set to people to be able to activate and access and embody these tools along this journey into motherhood.